So there was a few things that I wanted to talk about this morning. One of the first things that I wanted to talk about was so this week I am actually doing a fast, and I'm only drinking water. So it's gonna last from today up until Friday. So I'm gonna be able to like eat something, take something in on Saturday. Normally I don't share my fast, but I found that it is very important for me to share this particular fast because at first it was like, oh, I'm going to detox, right? So in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I need to detox. Last week was my birthday. I went super hard on just a bunch of junk, just taking in a bunch of stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to do a detox. Well, when I sat there and I was like, man, like, how dare I be so determined to detox myself when I'm neglecting my fast life. And so I've noticed that, and I always say, oh, I need to fast, I need to fast, I need to go into a fast. I need to give, I need to give myself to God. I need to make some sacrifices for God. But then, when I'm sitting here and I am super excited about this detox, it's like, why am I not that excited for a fast? And so I really got to the point where I was like, okay, so I'm not going to be focused on a detox and trying to cleanse myself. It's more so of I need to focus on myself for my fast. And a lot of us, we get in these moments where we start to put God at the bottom of our priority list. And sometimes we need that revelation of, what I'm thinking of or what I want is really important and really near and dear to my heart. However, I do know that if I'm not giving God that same glory or that same determination, then I am really, putting myself in a position of where I'm not truly surrendering to him. And so it's really, no, I'm not Muslim. I'm Christian. So it's really important for me to, or not even just me, but just for anybody to have those self-reflection moments. It's like, okay, I was really quick to do this detox so I could be, fine and popping and getting ready for this journey of just being healthy. And it's like daily I work on my spiritual health, but I also know that fasting, including my praying, is going to benefit me a lot more too. And so like I said, I share my fast because it's just going to be water. And it's going to be difficult because it is a huge sacrifice. And a lot of people struggle during that fast. I mean, I've done the fast before and it was truly a struggle to do just water. But I have to remember that if I was going to give up stuff for me to detox, for my body because I want to look good, why could I not make that same sacrifice and surrender to God because I'm truly ultimately trying to surrender to him. In the midst of it, I'm also going to be making sure I'm staying grounded. So making sure that I'm pouring myself into prayer, pouring myself into my word, the things I do already. But sometimes we get so religious with it where it's like, oh, I woke up, I did my prayer. When it's not about religion, it's about relationship. And I tell people that all the time. I have so many different categories of friends that they don't look at me like I feel like I'm better than anyone else simply because I chose the kingdom overall. It's a matter of my relationship with God, and it's not religion. And it's really important because you can be as toe up as you want to be, and God will still love you. You can, really walk and just, be in a space where I know a lot of people come to me and they're like, oh, well, I don't feel like I'm worthy to really be praying to God for XYZ. Or with my mom, a lot of people know my mom has COVID. She's still in the hospital. She's still sick. She's still feeling weak. But I had a friend of mine that was like, my prayer life ain't all that, but I'm still gonna pray for your mom, because they were really convicted in making sure my mom was healed. But the thing is, don't condemn yourself. Like, you can literally pray 1 to 2 times a week. God is not going to ignore you, right? And that's scripture. Like, it's at a point where we have to just make sure that if we truly want to pour ourselves into his word and really want him to be inviting into our lives, we have to make sure that we're prioritizing it. So again, I'm gonna find myself being grounded. So I'm gonna do a little bit more meditation than what I normally do. And so right now I do my prayer. And of course, people see praise and worship as meditation, but I'm going to sit still a little bit more during this week, because I need to make sure I'm opening myself up to be able to hear from him in this time. And remember, when you're fasting, have an end goal. It's like, I'm fasting because of XYZ. I'm fasting because I need God to show me XYZ, or I need a healing, or I need whatever, right? Just make sure you have an end goal of why you're going through this. So I'm going through this fast because I need to draw closer to God. I need to be able to hear him more. And sometimes it is as simple as that. Sometimes people don't fast because they need money, or they need healing, or they need whatever. Sometimes it's just, I'm fasting because I just need to hear from God more. So yeah. So with that being said, I know I kind of said a lot. But with that being said, I want people to remember too, while we're going through COVID and we're kind of going through a really tough time. One of my friends said this morning that today was just not the day. I just wanted to remind you guys that it is super, super okay to not be okay. We are all going through the same trauma right now. This pandemic is a trauma. It is truly a trauma. And just understand that it is truly okay to not be okay. It is okay to wake up some days and just be like, I'm not feeling it. Like, I really didn't feel like doing this live, but I know that, I had to, because one, I already said that I was going to do it, but there were some things that was important to share, and y'all wouldn't have known if I did not share it. So just remember, it's okay to not be okay. Today was probably one of the first days that I actually got dressed to not go anywhere. Usually when I get dressed, it's because I need to go somewhere, but I actually got dressed to sit at home to actually do work. Usually I'll just do my hair and make sure I got a nice top on for video calls, but today I got dressed, and sometimes we have to take those baby steps because it's okay to not be okay. Also create some sort of normalcy in your life. If you're creating some sort of normalcy, it definitely helps with it definitely helps with like the healing process of this. Let me see. Do you think it's a must to be in school for education? I definitely do not think that you have to go to school for education. And I don't think that you have to be educated to be so-called rich. And let me kind of further explain that a little bit. I do believe education is important, right? But we literally live in a information world. Our generation is full of information. So there's a lot of people who go to school. Do you think it's a must to be in school? There's a lot of people who go to school and they're like, oh, I want to get my master's degree in XYZ, when to be honest, there's a lot of people doing the same thing that's making more money, and they never went to school. They never put themselves in debt. So I really just feel like it's subjective too, because some people need school. Some people are not self-learners. Some people are not self-taught. They can't teach themselves. They need an educational environment where they're sitting in front of somebody, they have a book, they're being taught this information. I feel like if that's your flow, if that's how you need to be taught, then by all means do so. I'm not against education at all. I'm in school myself. Been in school for a long time, so I definitely feel like education is fine, but I don't feel like it's necessary. It all just depends on what you're trying to do. And then as far as, do you need to be educated to be rich? No, you don't. However, you don't need to be educated in the sense of you need a degree to be rich. However, you do need to be smart in order to know or to learn how to get money. Because if you don't know those things, or even if you don't know how to manage your money, that is super important. There's a lot of people who make money and they can make some quick, fast, easy money, but that money is leaving their hands as fast as they can get it. So that kind of puts them in a position to, to really be wasting their money. So how can you be rich and wealthy and acquire assets if you don't know that? So it is important for you to be educated to stay rich. But as far as like bringing the money in, I mean, you can bring the money in with a skill and we lose it all. So yeah, so I hope that answers your question. I don't know if that's what you were looking for. Hopefully that was kind of some sort of clarification. But that was my my little tidbit for the morning. Also, I want to say thank you to everyone who told me happy birthday or congratulations. I did get engaged last week. And I had a party. I definitely had a unicorn party. As y'all can see, it's stuck on the ceiling. I can't reach it. So, yeah, so I had me a nice little unicorn party. Had some cake. I still have one piece left. And I think I'm going to freeze it because I said I was going to eat it yesterday and I didn't. And so today, of course, like this week, I'm fasting. So I'm probably going to get to it next Sunday. So I'm going to freeze it. Do people freeze cake? I know that's a thing because I've seen like people when they freeze, like, I'm sorry if y'all hear a clicking noise, that's me. I get like real easy. I'm like one of those people who needs a fidget spinner. But do people freeze cake? I think, because I know that like when people talk about like their wedding cake, like they froze cake, I'm gonna just assume that people freeze cake. I'm not YouTube it, I'm gonna Google it. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Well, thank you guys for joining my live. I hope it was beneficial, especially talking about the fast and God. That was really important for me to share, because y'all know I love my God. And so hopefully that kind of gave y'all some insight. So yeah, if you weren't here in the beginning, I am doing a fast, because like I said I was going to do a detox. And while I was doing, while I was really excited about doing the detox, I said, I'm really pushing myself to do a detox so I could be fine. Why was I not pushing myself to have that same content to do a fast? Sorry, I was losing my words. It's kind of difficult too because I'm a coffee person. Normally I have my coffee Monday morning and I'm drinking water, so I just feel like I'm all over the place. So yep, well, it was nice talking to y'all. I love y'all dearly. And yeah, so I will see y'all on my next live.